What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a self-review of the level that I'm currently working on. So the idea is to just go through the level, talk through it, pick out any problems that you see. The key thing is that you need to identify problems and then you can fix them, because this shows a critical reflection process and an ability to develop and an ability to review your own work. So I'm just going to play the level, and you can see that I'm in the first room. There is a window, and you can see that there's a pickup on the other side. So the first thing is the communication about this window is not very good. It doesn't look like a window. It's just a gap in the wall with a blocking volume. So I need to think of a way or set up a material that will show in a better way that what you're looking at is a piece of glass and you're not expected to be able to get through this window. There's a bit of Z fighting down here. So this strobing that's going on right by his hand, that is Z fighting, and we want to avoid that. Over here there's also another little bit. So basically the object that I've put across the bottom of this as a kind of lintel is intersecting with the walls and causing the problem. So I need to be careful, and I need to make sure that I can try and get round to fixing that at some point. Also, I don't like the use of these pillars. They're a bit overscaled. If I get close, you can see that the pixel density is not all that great. I mean, it's reasonable, but it's not all that great. So I'd rather build a bespoke piece for this window, which would make sense. It could have a window frame and glass. Okay, you may also notice that there's a HUD, and this is just something that I've added to help me debug. It's not supposed to be there for the player. It's just that so that I can rapidly prototype. If you want to know how to build a HUD, then send me an email request and I will look at doing a video. Okay, so here's the first door. As you can see, it opens up. There's a nice green light behind it and it casts a big shadow. So that's a kind of, yep, let's go this way. So the first feature that I do is I lock this door, and it's not noticeable when you go through it, but I do actually switch a light to red so that if you come back this way, you can see that the door is locked and there is a red light on it. The other thing that I've done is I've set myself up a volume that basically encompasses the whole level and is pink. And that is because it will help me spot gaps in the walls. And as you can see here, I have two really big gaps in the walls. I also have a bit of collision problem because when I walk along here, I get stuck. So I need to fix that. And of course, this wall is sticking out. So I need to fix that at the same time. So really, even though this corridor is made out of a couple of bent sections of wall, I need to take the time to allocate some resources to either basically making a more refined version or building a bespoke modular piece for a curved wall section. Okay, so the second door opens and I'm in my second room. You can see I have a pickup with a light. You can see that I have some gaps. So this door frame doesn't fit the passageway. I have deliberately done this because I want you to either fill the gaps with pillars or I want you to rebuild the door frames. Okay, this door is locked, so I can't get through it. But if I collect the pickup, I will be able to get through this door. So I'm into the third room. Again, what I'm doing is I'm guiding the player straight ahead. I have a pickup that this time I haven't lit because, in other words, I'm increasing the difficulty level. In this case, this pickup had a big light over it. In this case, yeah, pay attention. No, it doesn't have a big light over it. You can see that I've got some missing artwork that I need to fill in. This door does not open. This door does open. Let's see what the pickup does. It doesn't open this door. So now I've got some verticality to this level. In other words, what I've done is I've raised the platform up. And what I'm trying to do at this point is I'm trying to get the player to think subconsciously about a change in height. And this next room, I did have a couple of puzzles in here, but I slimmed it all down to one, basically to make sure that I test features and do one feature at a time. So in here we have some changes of level. So it's quite easy for the player. They are taken up a ramp, then they are shown this kind of change of height, and then I have lit this area up here. Now I still haven't come up with the complete mechanic. In other words, it's basically a trigger volume, but I want to encourage the player to come up and explore up here. Let's see if I can make my own jump. And when he gets up here, I need a visual indicator to tell him that the door that he can't see has opened. So this is one of those classic things in design where you need to think, okay, we have one event happening and we need to be clearer that the player can understand that the door that this has opened is some distance away. This is a key player mechanic that we have to grow. So I will need to adjust this level. I will need to change the layout to make sure that the player, when they are jumping on this platform, also gets to see that this door opens. And what I might do is I might just move the door. I might put the door further on. I could put the door over here, so I could have a door down here, and then I could have it so that when the player jumps round or gets to this point up here, that they're actually looking at the door and they see the door open. That would be an improvement. So that's what I will set out to do. I need to improve that communication because that section there unlocks this door. Okay, what does this door do? Well, behind this door there is a box, and it's a physics box, and obviously as the player comes through the door they're going to hit the box and the box is going to move out of the way. So again, what I want to do is I want to introduce the player to, oh, these boxes move. Okay, I need some more distinct artwork. It's no good just having a cube. I need to make it look like something. And then if they come into this room, you can see that we have a physics box, but this one doesn't move. And that means that I can't get to the door. I can't open the door because the box is in the way. I haven't tried jumping around it, but yep, it's still good. The door is still shut. If I come over here, you can see that there's another pickup. This is supposed to be a crowbar. Doesn't look like a crowbar. So again, I need to think about, okay, I need to build an asset. I need to do some concept work. I need to design a crowbar. I need to go and look at some crowbars. Then I need to build a model of a crowbar. So now if I come back here, this box now turns into a physics object and I can move it out of the way. In theory, with my crowbar. Again, I have another door. This door's locked. There's no indicator above this door. So again, what I need to do is think about, should I have an indicator? Will that be, for instance, do I go with the lights or shall I go with a different form? If I go in here, you can see that we're back at the start room. I've got that window again that doesn't look like a window. Still can't get through it. And now I have this pickup, which is the admin passkey. So again, I need to think about what that admin passkey is going to look like. If I take that and get through this door, that's the end of the level. Need to think of a way of making the end of the level more conclusive. A way of communicating that the end of the level has been met. So that's a nice, neat walkthrough. A couple of tips that I have. One is that if I play this, you'll notice that there's no lighting needs to be built. And the way I get round that is if I check all my lights, you can see that I've set my lights to movable. So if I go up here, you can also see that these lights are movable. If lights are movable in Unreal Engine, then they cast dynamic shadows, and therefore they can't be part of the pre-calculated lighting. And you get the warning for lighting needs to be built when the engine is trying to calculate the pre-calculated lighting. So all of these lights are dynamic, which is expensive, but whilst you're still developing a level, it's very useful to be able to get rid of the lighting error, because you are going to be playing around with a lot of lighting. The other thing about lighting is that on these directional lights, by default I recommended that you put at least one in. You'll note that I have 2 directional lights in. They are roughly perpendicular to one another, that is, they're pointing away from each other, and they are different colors as well. I've got kind of a yellow one and a kind of blue one. And what this does is it means that I've got all 4 orthogonal axes lit. So I've got this light which is shining down here, and I've got this light which is shining down here. And if I switch this to the world axis, you can see that this is shining a bit of Y and a bit of X, and again same with this one, bit of Y and a bit of X. In other words, it's not aligned to one axis, which means you get different lighting on different walls. So that's quite used to set up for the lighting, is make sure your directional lights aren't casting shadows. So if I got my directional light set, you can see down here cast shadows is off. If I put it on, I'm going to get these kind of weird shadow bugs whereby it's clipping through invisible parts of the geometry. I don't want it, so I just turn it off. Also means that your entire level is lit. So the other thing you may notice is I've got a big pink background. The way that I've done this is I've got an outer bounce cube. If I just double click on it, you can see it's just a big giant pink cube. It has a 2-sided self-illuminated or unlit material on it, and that is how I have this out of bounds pink check. So what else have I got that's quite neat? Oh yes, I have folders. So if you're any way through building your level, you will have a load of wall sections, of which I have plenty. And initially I compartmentalize the wall sections and the floor sections and the pickups and things like that. And then as the level grows, I will start compartmentizing. No, that's not the word. Compartmentizing. Putting things into boxes by having, say, the wall and the floor and the pickups for one room, and then the walls and the floor and the pickups for another room. This level's not too big, so therefore it's I don't need to have nested folders. So putting things in folders really helps keep things clean, because I can access my doors, I can access all the filler objects, I can access all the floor objects, and then I can access all the pickups. So I know that I have some things to fix. I have to fix this feature so that we can see a door opening. I need to fix my pickups so they actually look like something. So for instance, this is the red key card. I need to think even if this gets used. I know that this door here requires the crowbar, which was a way of me fudging it so that the player couldn't trick their way through this. This one is locked and unlocked by, again, the player jumping up and getting onto this platform. pretty sure that I don't have any doors that require the red door key, so I can eliminate that. This door here requires the admin pass, which is through here. Again, what I might do is think of something a little bit more unique rather than keys and admin passes. Okay, the important thing from this perspective in terms of the level narrative, make sure that the player understands what to do. This is slightly confusing, but I need to clean that up in the artwork. The doors, teaching the player doors work, teaching the player that doors lock, teaching the player that doors require pickups, teaching the player that doors can be opened by events, and then extending that to other interesting features. Whilst developing this level, remember it's the first level of a game. You need to teach the players and you need to gate properly. That is to make sure that the players have successfully learned something before moving on to another feature.